best regards.
Okay. Tiego, can you give us a description of what happened last night?
Yeah. Early hours of the morning, probably about 2 a.m., about 200 cops raided Clint Thomas House, which is a residence where black students stay on campus here, and off campus next to Soweto, and raided a number of rooms and had long lists of names of people they wanted and all those two things. So they were breaking into rooms and all those two things, and ultimately about 10 people were detained there. At about the same time, the same incident in another residence in town, just in Braamfontein, an almost equally large number of cops raided Braamfontein Center, broke doors there into rooms and all those two things. They are armed to the teeth, guns and live ammunition and all those two things, and 4 people were detained there.
Did they detain mostly black students?
They detained only black students, members of the Black Student Society on campus.
What do you think is the reason for them detaining black students?
The reasons are clear, man. I mean, both are in Parliament just yesterday made cut no bones about the fact that they are bent on crushing democratic anti-apartheid organizations, man. And I think this is part of that whole campaign to destabilize anti-apartheid opposition in the country. But what irritates us most, I suppose, other than the fact that these people have power to detain people without trial and lock them up for as long as they wish without reason or good cause, is the fact that they have control of the media and in fact are accusing us. In fact, they're insinuating that our members have been detained because they're responsible for bombing Cosatu House. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, we know and you know and the whole of this country knows who is responsible for bombing Cosatu House. So in fact, they not only go on these murderous campaigns against our organizations, but they also publicly and unashamedly lie about these things. We obviously are not responsible for that, and we know just as much as they know who is responsible for for the bombing of Cosatu House.
Of the students that were detained, some were released early this morning. I believe, Susie, you were one of them that were released. Can you give us a brief description of what happened?
Well, I mean, it was very bad. They came at around 3:30, 4 o'clock. There were lots of them. In fact, I couldn't count the people in my flat. They were armed, and they raided my place. They looked through everything, and then they drove us to John Foster Square.
Did they have a search warrant?
They didn't show me one. I don't think they did.
And what do you think?
They don't need those sort of things, you know.
What do you think the reasons are for them breaking into your flat?
I think they have absolutely no reason to come into my flat. In fact, they went out there with nothing.
Do you think that they've targeted BSS specifically?
Very clearly, I think the state president mentioned a number of sectors which were of concern to him. Primarily here, the trade unions, COSATU, community organizations, the UDF, and universities, they say. And obviously we're probably just a small part of a broad range of Democrats in this country who are going to be on the receiving end of their detentions and violence.
Do you expect a further clampdown or tighter control on student movements?
We get that impression. They are apparently particularly interested in SANSCO, which is the national students' body to which we are affiliated, and seem bent on amongst other things destroying SANSCO and putting away its leadership and activists. So we can well expect them to go on at full speed. They know no limits, you know.
Do you think today's clampdown was a follow-up to yesterday's confrontation with SMA?
SMA is a non-factor, man. They have no support. They're just a bunch of loonies, you know. Like somebody said, they make the Ku Klux Klan sound like some heavenly choir, you know, absolutely racist and have no support or base on this campus at all. And although we know that the SMA has very clear links with the police and all those two things, and in fact some of their members have been identified amongst the cops who raid these places, you know, pointing out students and rooms and those sort of things. We're not particularly perturbed about the SMA. They're a non-issue.